They're the people who keep the city running. The folks behind the counter, on the phone, in the field, walking the beat. The value of these city employees is not lost on our city manager, Jimmy Morales. That's why he's spending some time on the front line. With over 91,000 residents in Miami Beach, keeping the city beautiful, clean, orderly, and up to code is a full-time job for the 40 Miami Beach code compliance officers. There are specific rules and regulations home, business, and property owners must abide by, and this team's job is to help people follow those rules. The Code Compliance Department's mission is to enforce the city code uniformly, ensuring the health, safety, welfare, and quality of life for the residents, business owners, and tourists of the city of Miami Beach. On this mission, City Manager Jimmy Morales moonlights as a code compliance officer.
There's a lot of work to be done out here in the community, but when you go to a property on one complaint, you sometimes find a lot of other issues that need to be addressed.
Code compliance officers are tasked with helping folks comply with the guidelines.
We both react to or respond to complaints, but we also are proactive. If we see things, even if nobody's complained, we have the right.
Absolutely. It's going to work mode.
All right, work mode.
1760 Normandy Drive. 4th floor staircase has no railings. Steps are slippery. We're painted and deteriorated, so hazardous. This is a PM violation. Okay.
PM meaning property maintenance.
Property maintenance violation. Right. Okay, so we're going to address that. I'm going to the complaint room.
Operating on the front line, City Manager Morales experiences firsthand what code compliance officers face daily.
Definitely in the North End, one of our biggest challenges is sanitation.
Right.
Illegal dumping is...
Any particular hotspots?
Most of the main streets, Marseille, Calais, Normandy, there's a lot of apartment building there. And mostly towards the end of the month, like we are now, there's a lot of people moving in and out of the apartments.
And they just put their stuff on the street.
Actions which, according to the rules, are violations. He knows the city has to stay firm, but Morales also recognizes Miami Beach is a cultural melting pot, so he knows education might be the key.
A lot of other countries, code enforcement's not a big deal, And having traveled, some countries don't have the same approach to code enforcement and zoning laws and things like that. I suspect you probably get folks who come here, invest, have property, or buy a home, and aren't used to having to meet our kind of levels of code.
Yes. There is, in my experience, what has happened is that some foreigner buys an apartment building or a home. And whether they're not aware, they don't upkeep it.
So issue 2?
Yes.
Would that be it?
It's a full morning for the city manager turned code compliance officer, checking a North Beach apartment building for property maintenance issues.
Items on the staircase of apartment number 3 and mattresses dumped in the back.
Working closely with the owners of a daycare operation, reminding them large banners are not allowed in this mostly residential area.
You have to patrol your streets, and in doing so, you send a message to the building managers that you are looking. So what you want is proactively them taking care of their property. ¿Cómo está?
Performing detective sleuth work inside a beach high-rise to identify the source of a noise complaint and determine if there are, in fact, violations taking place.
We received several complaints of a noise violation of one of the adjacent properties. They install a new air conditioning system, and it's making a very loud noise.
Normal. No normal?
Sound, no.
Ah, okay.
It changes.
All in a day's work. Morales learns his code compliance team pays close attention to detail, properly recording all information and documenting each step along the way.
You got to write up the violations. You got to get everything right. You got the right property owner, the right address, the right citation, because otherwise it gets thrown out.
For the city manager, this outing is productive in giving a leader and key decision maker a better understanding of the front line.
And I think it gives him an idea of all the things that we go through, so when he does get complaints, he can see what the code officer actually goes through from the start of a complaint to the end of the violation. It is a process, sometimes it is long.
And did our crews pass the boss test?
We got a hard-working code compliance crew out there that are trying to help property owners and businesses bring their properties into compliance, and it's a thorough process. You know, they've got to do it right. They got to, when they issue a citation, they've got to put all the right information down, and so it takes time. But and there's a lot of issues out there, and they're patrolling our neighborhoods, both responding to complaints and as they see things that are problematic to try to improve our quality of life. So I've got an appreciation for what they do and the time it takes.
When On the Frontline continues, Miami Beach is known for its hospitality, and that extends right into city government. We take a trip inside the customer service department. But first, the men and women of the fire service you don't often see. On the Frontline rolls out with the Fire Inspection Division.
Must be Saturday night. There you go.
Hear Miami Beach Fire Department, and you probably conjure up images like this. But these first responders are just part of the fire team dedicated to keeping Miami Beach residents and visitors safe.
They do a different function. They're not out there fighting the fire. They're trying to prevent it, number one. And number two, in case fires do occur, they're trying to make sure that people can get out safely.
The Miami Beach Fire Prevention Division, a team of 26 highly trained individuals dedicated to fire safety and education. It's a combination of civilian inspectors that are state certified and Miami Beach fire officers that are also certified fire inspectors. The department mission? To create and maintain a fire-safe environment for the citizens and visitors of the city of Miami Beach through programs of planned review, inspection, enforcement, investigation, and education. How comprehensive is the work of this specialized division? City Manager Jimmy Morales goes on the front line to find out.
Sir, how are you?
How you doing? Good to see you.
Same here.
How you doing?
Hey, very good. Very well.
Doing? I see you got your uniform
I'm
ready
Inspector
to go.
Morales today. So looking forward to the afternoon.
All right, well, everybody's looking forward to letting you see what it is they do every day.
Good. This is good. See how we enforce that life safety standards out there.
Yeah.
It's wonderful to
It's an
see.
important job that they do.
All right.
All right,
Well, let's get going.
let's go.
Today's mission? A final fire inspection walkthrough of a new high-rise condo building on Ocean Drive. The city manager's tour director, Fire Inspection Division Chief Juan Mezozo.
This inspection is just before the final. We sometimes combine this with the final because we're going to be walking the building to check that once we go on to emergency generator power, the fire pump is kicking under emergency power, the fire alarm, smoke control systems are all operational, and all the emergency lighting and exit signs are operational as well.
Rule of thumb for any good leader? Understanding the inner workings of the team, asking questions, recognizing that performing over 5,000 life safety inspections a year is a monumental task.
How big a staff do you have?
Currently, I have 5 inspectors that are doing new construction. I have 4 that do my plans review, and 3 that do the annual inspections. We have hired or are in the process of hiring 2 more to do annual inspections. As the buildings get built, then they become existing buildings that need to be inspected on a yearly basis. I believe we are the only city department that, after these buildings are built, continually keep going in at least once a year, making sure that all the systems that were in place at the time of that they were built of permit are continually maintained.
I think taxpayers are getting their money's worth
Yes,
with this unit.
At this multi-million-dollar condo unit, the stakes are high. Owners will expect only the best in quality and safety features.
We have this incredible view from this beautiful penthouse.
That's the wonderful thing about here.
But we need to remember that people here are paying not just for the view, but for having a safe.
Some life safety features go hand in hand with Miami Beach's vision for the future.
What are they?
Those are actually flood barriers that are required in all these new construction, all the new construction that are coming in Miami Beach. They're all required to have the flood panels.
I wanted people to see that because this is part of our sustainability is recognizing that the seas are rising. We're actually requiring buildings to be able to provide what looks like probably 3 feet of sea level rise there. Private builder, recognizing that this investment that he's making over here has to be protected from rising waters, particularly when you're across the street from the Atlantic Ocean. It's great to see that the private sector is also thinking, like we are at the city, how to keep our residents safe and how to keep our property investments safe.
City Manager Morales is about to step into the belly of this luxury living space, seeing mechanisms most residents take for granted. But they work because the Fire Prevention Division is on top of it.
What we're doing is a generator test, which includes the total load bank of the building, just in case you have a power failure. All the life safety systems still function according as if it was a normal situation. So we'll have the water flowing as if there was a fire, and the water's continuing flowing even when we lose the power. We're going to have the alarm activated, simulating that the fire actually activated, pump supplying water to the building, and then you're going to have the smoke control system, which is also added load to the building.
What additional things are generally required of a high-rise building to meet life safety that you might not be required in somebody's single-family home?
For instance, you have the smoke control system, which is a system that's designed based on the engineer's design of the building, depending on what he's looking forward to. For instance, like you'll have some buildings that'll pressurize the smoke and keep it in one zone so that everybody can evacuate, or you can have it that evacuates the smoke and then you can get out.
So this is so folks don't trying to escape, get smoke inhalation and not be able to make it. Right.
In the high-rise building, they do have the fire sprinklers. It's monitored by the fire alarm system. This is a force notification, so you have voice evac. We're able to get on the microphone if we need to, get everybody out. In the event that the firemen need to talk to each other, we have phone communication, radio communication as well that is added to the building.
One of the requirements is that there has to be phones so that firefighters, if they're in here, or fire can communicate with each other. So as a backup to their handheld radios, in these tall buildings, we also provide phones that they can plug into on the different floors and have communication as sort of to promote the life safety.
Correct.
Because I'm sure even with all this equipment, it's still dangerous to fight fires in a building like this.
Correct.
Yeah,
yes.
Sure.
Then it's time to put the systems to the test. In a real emergency, there's no room for failure. The Miami Beach Fire Prevention Division must check, test, and ensure all systems are go before signing off on the all-important certificate of occupancy.
This is a backup generator for the whole building.
For the whole building, not just our system.
It's really for life safety systems. It's not for people at home cooking or anything like that.
Emergency lighting, things like that, yeah. Sounds like my car. There you go. Wow. And so in less than 10 seconds, power went on, emergency lights are on, and the pump is working. That's great.
You're fighting a fire. You don't want to lose
No. Very impressive. How does our Florida code in terms of fire safety, how do you think it compares nationally?
South Florida is one of the most stringent jurisdictions when it comes to the fire code and to the building code. A lot of it has to do with the fact that we've had hurricanes and disasters over the years, and this is something that South Florida is actually one of the leaders when it comes to codes and to dealing with emergencies.
How did the Miami Beach Fire Prevention Division stack up under city manager scrutiny?
First of all, they're a top-notch team. They know their stuff, and I think they're keeping us safe. But also, I think how complicated this is. The old days of in case of fire, break glass. It's gotten so sophisticated. They know what they're fighting in a sense that these are not necessarily just civilians who theoretically think about how to make somebody safe from a fire, and whether they're a firefighter resident. These individuals have also been trained in what has to happen when you're fighting a fire, which I have no doubt makes them much more careful, thoughtful, and innovative when it comes to thinking about how to make these buildings safe.
And of course, no trip to the front line would be complete without some hands-on activity. So now the tables are turned.
We're going to run the fire hydrant.
Yes, we are. What we're actually doing here is we're opening up the hydrant, checking how much flow we're getting out of it.
On a scale of 1 to 10, could he be a fire inspector?
Oh, definitely, most definitely. I would say he's right there at 9, 8. Knows a lot, questions a lot. The questions were very good. So I think he was not letting on how much he knew.
Ah, keep going? Oh, must be Saturday night. There you go.
There's much more ahead. Miami Beach prides itself on service with a smile. And up next, On the Frontline introduces you to the men and women who have the answers to your questions, members of the Customer Service Department. Stay with us. On any given day, there is one City of Miami Beach office that directly services upwards of 175 people each and every workday. Getting out onto the front line, City Manager Jimmy Morales decides it's time to check in on the 20 men and women who provide customer service to residents and visitors of the city.
Hey, how you doing?
Well, Mr. Manager, welcome to the Customer Service Center.
My pleasure. Looking forward to
Thank you. We've been
getting
waiting
a little customer service here. Whether it's our residents, whether it's our business owners, whether it's visitors, this is a town that's all about hospitality, and both in terms of promoting a quality of life for our residents, and also a great experience for our residents, visitors, and our businesses. And so it starts here.
Part of the finance department, customer service offers a one-stop shopping experience for anyone needing assistance with opening a water account, getting an occupational license, residential parking permit, or garage sale permit. Are you looking to get a passport or just have a general question about the city? Pretty much anything you might need help with, the answer is here. Need a quick transaction? A kiosk is also available for in and out service.
We handle here approximately 35,000 customers a year.
35,000 people actually come through these doors.
Transactions, yes, sir.
Wow.
Yes. On any given day, 175 to 200 customers on any given business day. And in addition to that, we also handle about 34,000 telephone calls a year.
Yeah, I was going to ask, for those who maybe can't make it here, they can call?
They can call. We have several of our transactions can be done online.
And when you do show up in person, it's service with a smile.
And then we need our greeter. Dee is working as our greeter today.
Actually, it's our director of first impressions.
That is
which
true.
is critical. In customer service, first impressions are last thing. Dee, how are you?
Hi, how are you?
Been a busy day?
Yes.
All right. So they come here. What's the typical questions you get? Do people come here sometimes just for information? I would imagine.
They want to know where the cultural center or what you call it, the Holocaust
Memorial.
I mean, a lot of different things, the fire department or building for permits.
Of course, the only way to get a feel for the job is hands-on.
Good afternoon. How are you today?
Good.
Good. How can I help you?
To get a parking pass?
To get a parking pass. So we get parking?
Yes.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, wonderful. Good afternoon, welcome.
How are you?
Hi, how can I help you? Now come on in.
All right.
Business tax receipt? All right. You just need to pay it up here?
Yeah,
or?
I think so.
Cashier.
Cashier, all right. I did, didn't I? Read it harder. All right. All right, here you go. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Now serving E469 at station number 5.
Hi, how are you? Hi.
Very well, thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you very much. I want to get the residential parking.
Residential parking permit?
Yes, please.
All right. Fill this out and let me get you a number. ¿Cómo está, señora?
Bien, gracias.
Aquí tiene su servidor. Yo soy el administrador de la ciudad, Jimmy Morales. Mucho gusto.
Un día, véame bien.
Ok.
Yo voy a necesitar usted.
Cuando lo necesite, me deja saber.
City Manager Morales, so solid working the front greeter desk, it's time to see a transaction through to the end. This client and longtime business owner squaring away a permit.
Once she's paid this, then we can go ahead and issue the permit. Actually, I can check that.
How many years have you had the cafe out there now?
I've been there since 2007.
Wow, wonderful. That's great.
A leader involved with the rank and file and one who understands the value of teamwork. Morales doesn't shy away from talking up his department when asked to explain on the front line.
So they get to see the tax dollars at work, and the employees get to, sort of show off what they're doing and take some pride in the hard work they do. So,
one thing's for sure is since this building has been built, customer service has been great here.
Wonderful. Great to hear that.
Another day on the front line and a thumbs up from the city manager for the customer service department.
Thank you.
We've got great people who have really great customer service. They really are trying to create a good first impression. Close to 100,000 transactions are processed through here, plus thousands of bills that go out for building and parking. So they're busy, and yet they still make the time to hopefully greet you with a smile and give you good service.
And how did the city manager fare in his new role?
I think his customer service skills were excellent. I would rate him a 9.5 because there's always room for improvement. And he handled all customers that came in, whether they were parking customers, cyber cafe customers, and he did quite well. A lot of on-the-job training. So I know we need him on the 4th floor, but he's welcome back anytime he wants.
Okay. All right. Thank you.